Hello folks, you're very welcome to Devine Commercial's website. My name is Conor Devine, I'm the principal in the company. Over the next few months I'm going to do a number of short videos really to get some interaction going between you, my client and maybe client to be, and myself in the property market. Because folks, the first video I want to run through here is about the property market. You know, property is on everybody's lips. Everywhere you go to the supermarkets, you go to your bars, your restaurants, in the family, you know, we're all talking about property and where property prices are at the moment and where they're going to be going over the next 12 months. Okay folks, so look, a few questions that I'm asked on a daily basis. You know, one of them is, you know, Conor, is this a good time to be selling? The truth is, folks, it's not the best time in the world to be selling. You know, obviously property prices are falling, and so it's more difficult to sell your property. However, what I would say is that if you are selling a property today, you've got to be realistic. You know, and one of the good things that's happened over the last few months is that people are starting to get more realistic of where the market actually is. So if you're going to be selling a property today, you've got to be realistic in your aspirations. Well folks, it actually is a good time to be buying. You know, there's supply and demand are key in anything whenever you're determining the price. And when the supply of something goes up, obviously you would assume that the price would come down. And the fact is, folks, that there's a lot of property on the market right now. And I would say, you know, now is a great time to be actually buying property. I have a number of clients who are in the marketplace right now looking and only looking to buy real value. So yes, I would say that now is a great time to be looking at buying property as an asset class. The next thing I want to talk to you about, folks, is, you know, a lot of people are saying to me, Conor, should I be taking advice? Or maybe you're not saying it, but what I would say, folks, is if you're involved in property at the minute, it is fundamental that you take advice. You know, if you're buying something, if you're selling something, you know, because the nice thing about property is that because it's so topical, we all have an opinion. You know, some of us are right, some of us are wrong. You know, you have to make sure, the key thing is that you've satisfied yourself that you're getting the right advice, whether you're buying or selling or thinking of doing either. So advice is key. Okay folks, the last question that I get on a regular basis, which is a hell of a lot more difficult, is, you know, people say to me, Conor, where do you see things going in the next 12 months? Folks, what I would say honestly, I think it's going to be very tricky. There's so many challenges within our banking sector at the moment. The banks are working through those challenges over the last 6 to 12 months. I see over the next 12 months, certainly house prices, there's an element of stability coming to them. Are they going to get lower? Are they going to stay the same? Are they going to increase? You know, folks, the thing is, it's going to be tricky. The next 6 to 12 months are going to be very tricky with people who are involved in the property market. A lot of challenges ahead, but look, you know, that's where we are. So until the next time, I'll see you again soon.